Hello guys, and welcome back to your favorite agricultural and agribusiness YouTube channel. In case you are watching for the first time, my name is Lawa Olushalawa and I'm an agri consultant. I'm a farmer by training, by practice and by education. And this channel is actually dedicated to promote sustainable and profitable agriculture. So if you are watching for the first time, kindly click on subscribe button to have access to more of our videos. Thank you so much. So the topic I'll be discussing today is I'll be running a kind of comparison between sheep and cow. So if you are somebody who wants to go into ruminant production and you are at a crossroad, you are finding it difficult to pick between going for sheep, goats, or you want to go for cow. So cattle rearing. So I'll be running through why you should actually go for sheep over cow. To start with, I'll be comparing them on close to like 10 points. I'll be comparing sheep, the small ruminants, sheep or goat, because sheep and goat actually have the same kind of characteristic requirements and everything is common between them. So I'll be comparing sheep or goat with cow. So to start with, I'll be talking about the advantages of sheep over cow. And the number one point I'll be talking about is the issue of feeding. So when you look at it from the angle of feeding, sheep have a wider variety, a broader feeding option. So because they actually feed on more more plants. They actually feed on more plants. They feed on more forage than their counterparts, than their cow counterparts. They feed on so many things. They feed on shrubs. They feed on grasses. They feed on forages and so many other things. But cow prefer grasses in most cases. They will see other plants like this and they will be starving. But that's not the case with sheep. Sheep have a very wider feeding option. They feed on even kitchen remnants, kitchen waste. They feed on so many other things. So that is that. That is that about their feeding. You want to consider before. Another thing you want to consider about them is the gestation period. And when I talk about gestation period is the time it takes each of them to deliver, their pregnancy time. Yeah. And when you look at it in this way, the pregnancy time for the gestation period for sheep or goat is 5 months. But when it comes to cattle or cow, it's 9 months. So it will actually take sheep 5 months to deliver, while it actually take cow 9 months to deliver, which is almost double. Double. Before a cow will born, a sheep must have born and must have weaned the kid, getting ready for another pregnancy. So this is another factor you should consider. So another thing I'll be talking about is the breeding maturity, the time at which you can actually breed your sheep or your cow. The breeding maturity time for sheep is actually within the range of 7 to 8 months. When a sheep is 7 months old, you can actually mate, you can actually copulate, allow it to copulate to get pregnant. But that is not the case with cattle or with cow. Cow, you cannot mate cow unless they are above 14 months, which is 1 year, 2 months. So the number 5 point I'll be talking about is the market or slaughter age. The market or slaughter age, which is the time by which you will rear both of them before they will attain the market age or the market size. So having said this, the market age for sheep is 8 months. When you rear a sheep from birth, within eight within 8 to 9 months, they will attain market size and they are fit to be slaughtered. Whereas with cow, you have to rear them for 2 years before they can be slaughtered. So, and this is where return on investment comes in, because you must have done like 2 or 3 cycles of rearing sheep and growing to market size and selling 2 or 3 times before you can actually sell a cattle in 2 years. Another point I'll be looking at is their birth rate. And one thing that is common among in sheep and goat is the commonness of, or the occurrence of multiple births, which is very common among sheep and goat. You can have sheep giving back to 2. You can have goats giving back to 2, giving back to 3. So twin birth is very common among sheep and goat. Whereas among cow, it is not common. It is not common at all. And in cases where cow give birth to 2, the probability of the twins surviving is very, very, very low. So that is that about the birth. The last advantage of sheep over cow is in the area of the grazing area, because when you want to establish a ruminant farm, another thing, one of the important things you put in place is the grazing area. You cannot be buying all their food. You have to have an area whereby you grow your own forage, you grow your own grass for them to feed on. So when you're having a sheep farm, you require less land to feed a flock. So, for example, if you have an acre of grazing land will be enough to be feeding 20 to 25 sheep. Whereas same acre of land will not be enough to feed that number of cow. You can only feed 10 to 12 cow on an acre of land in a year. So if you are looking in the direction of setting up a ruminant farm and you are contemplating between sheep and cow, so these are the points you should actually consider before you setting up, especially if you are starting up small. And lastly but not the least, on the advantage of sheep over cow is their market value of their meat. The market value of goat meat or sheep meat is way more higher than the market value of beef. For example, in Nigeria, a kg of goat meat or sheep meat, mutton, will go for nothing less than 2,500 naira. It's between the range of 2,500 naira to 3,000 per kg. Whereas a kg of beef, you can get a kg of beef within the range of 1,200 naira to 1,400 naira. So you can actually see the return on investment, the gap between both of them, because sheep or goat meat are actually considered to be a kind of special meat, a kind of assorted meat over the cow, over the beef or the cow meat. So having said that, I would like to also talk briefly about some areas whereby the cow also have advantage on the sheep, and one of them is the requirement for hoofing. The hoofing is a kind of management practices whereby you carry out, you remove the hoof of your animals. Cow actually have a lesser requirement of this, and you can actually carry it out once in a year or once in 2 years. But if you are having a sheep farm or a goat farm, it's a practice you must carry out at least twice a year. And another thing is the parasite buildup. You have to drench and treat your sheep often, at least 2 times in a year, for parasite diseases, and which is not a problem in cattle farming. So with this, I think you've actually got value one way or the other, and you actually find this video valuable. If you find this video valuable, kindly click on the subscribe button if you have not done so, and share this video with your friend and give it a like. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your attention. See you on my next video.